Hey friends, it's Cecilia Jane, and today's going to be a pretty simple video. I just have a time lapse for you guys, and I'm going to do a little voiceover and kind of talk about my process and my inspiration for this painting. So firstly, before I kind of get into the specifics, I wanted to talk about this painting in general. So for a while, I've been wanting to do a series of artworks, just a series that is pretty cohesive and has like a similar theme. It's been a while since I've done like a series. Like I did one in high school for a class called AP Art Portfolio. So I want to make another series. It's just fun to have, and it kind of shows off your work nicely when you're doing like similar themes. You guys know I'm a little all over the place, so it's good to have like a series for me personally, I think, just because it shows that like I can do multiples of the same kind of thing, if that makes sense. Anyway, so yeah, I want to do a series, and I was thinking for a while, like, what could I do? And I had a lot of different ideas, but none of them that I really liked. But as you guys probably know if you watch my videos or see my art, I like to work with surrealism a lot, and nature, and human anatomy. Those are kind of some themes that I like. And this series is no exception. It is dealing with those themes, but specifically this series is going to be called Cats, Giants, and Nature. I might like rename that a little bit, but basically it's going to have giants, it's going to have cats, and it's going to have nature, and also incorporate themes of like surrealism. So lately I've been really enjoying the idea of like giants and just like very large people. I just think it's cool. Large statues, ancient Greece mythology, like ancient Greek mythology, I think is what you're supposed to say. But yeah, with like the gods and the goddesses being like so tall, and just like big statues, and just, yeah, I don't know, I've just really been liking the idea of that. I think it's really cool. I think there's a lot of shows and stuff that I've been watching that have inspired me, and just some things, probably some inspirations, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I like the idea of that. And then I wanted to incorporate things that really showed the scale of like the giants that I'm going to be portraying. And I thought it'd be fun to incorporate cats because I've really been wanting to like, how many times I want to say the word incorporate, but I really want to incorporate more like stories into my work, like storytelling aspects. And I thought adding cats to these paintings would be like a fun element that would make it kind of playful and also add like a little something, like a little bit of a story or something. So that's why I'm incorporating cats as well, and I love cats, so I thought it would be fun. So yeah, this is the first painting in the series. I plan to do 4 others, so there's going to be 5 works total. And they're all going to be 6x8, which I don't normally work with the size 6x8. I usually do 4x6 or 5x7, but I was thinking what I wanted to do, and 6x8 was just kind of calling my name. Some of the works are going to be horizontal and some of them are going to be vertical. And I think they're all going to probably be done with acrylic paint just because that's what I like oil paint, but it's a little more like time consuming getting all the oil paint stuff out and also letting it dry and everything. So I thought that would just be a little easier. But yeah, I have all the other ideas planned out, like the concepts and stuff. I just went with this one first. I don't think it necessarily is the easiest. I just thought this one would be a nice one to start with. So yeah, so the idea for this one is basically just like a giant finger holding up a bonsai tree with some cats playing in the trees. I really had a lot of fun with the clouds. As you can tell, that's like takes up a good amount of time in this video, is me just painting clouds in the sky and stuff. I thought it'd be really fun to have like kind of that dramatic lighting of like nighttime. I don't know, a lot of the works I've been doing lately have been at I got a little cut off there for a second, but yeah, I was just talking about how I enjoyed making works that had that like moonlit lighting. Moons are really fun to paint, and you can just do a lot with like kind of that dusk time or even nighttime. I just think it's a really pretty time of day to paint. And I was thinking about just making this painting like in the sky, like a blue sky, but I thought, like, again, I thought it'd be fun to kind of do that dark sky and that dramatic moonlit lighting. And then I was re-listening to my voiceover to make sure I was like talking at the right part. and I said how I usually work with 4x6 or 5x7, which is true when I'm doing smaller works, but I do like to paint pretty large. Like I'll even paint like 2 by 3 foot paintings or even larger, but I just meant like in general, like I normally when I'm doing smaller paintings, I'll do 4x6 or 5x7. And also, like, I just quickly wanted to add, one of the reasons I chose 6x8 was because the idea of doing 5 paintings can seem a little like daunting. So I thought if they were smaller, it'd be a little less daunting, and it wouldn't be as bad, like, mentally. I don't know about you guys, but like sometimes when I assign myself a project, I can get overwhelmed easily. So I thought this would be like a nice place to start with, like, I mean, I paint all the time, but trying to get back into doing like a series or just trying to do like very regular paintings that are like my own and not like commissioned artworks. I just thought this would be a good way to kind of ease into it. But yeah, so I talked about this painting a little bit individually, but as far as my process, I've been painting for a little while now, so I do have a process that I kind of follow for most of the time. I mean, every painting is different, right? And things change, and I learn new techniques and stuff. But generally, I start how I started this one, which was just doing like a little quick kind of gestural sketch of the painting. And when I say sketch, I'm still like painting it in, but it's like sketchy in that kind of quality. But yeah, I did that in kind of a yellow ochre, as you guys saw in the beginning. Yellow ochre is like a good color just because it's very natural. If I did the sketch in like a bright fuchsia, that might be a little awkward if some of it showed through or something, or look a little out of place or be a little jarring. But if you use like a yellow ochre or more natural color, if some of that shows through, it doesn't look too off. I mean, if you're doing like, if most of your painting is like fuchsia or bright colors, obviously that'd be fine. But since this is more like quote unquote natural painting with like natural colors, that's why I chose to do that. But yeah, so I started off with that kind of gestural sketch of it. Also, I just noticed that the footage cut here. I'm sorry if like a lot of the footage cuts. My camera dies a lot, so it cuts, and then also I have to wait for my batteries to charge. So sometimes I'll just paint a little bit without recording it. But I recently bought a charger for my camera, so now I should be able to charge it while I'm filming, so I shouldn't have that problem. Also, another thing, like while I'm on this topic of like technical difficulties, as you can tell, the exposure, like the lighting, changes like 24/7. That's because when my hand's in frame, it like makes the frame brighter. I'm not very like camera savvy. I'm trying to be, but anyways, I know how to fix this now. I have to change it to manual exposure, so hopefully future time lapses won't have this problem where it's like flashing dark and flashing light, and I apologize if that's really annoying, but I will have it fixed for future videos. I understand now why I was doing that. So but yeah, that's why it kind of cuts, is just because my battery died. So if you see like, oh, it looks really like detailed and it didn't 2 seconds ago, that's why, and I'm sorry, but sometimes it's just hard to get all the footage all in a line without any like breaks. But yeah, so as you guys can see, also I was laying down like flat colors, and then I just kind of go in and refine everything. This isn't necessarily a how to paint tutorial or anything. I'm just kind of quickly going over my process. But yeah, lots of refining. That's the great thing about acrylic paint, is you can just keep going over and over your painting. And yeah, I definitely take advantage of that quality of acrylic paint because I'm constantly like noticing things while I'm painting, especially when I like wait a day. Like for example, here I'm refining the clouds again, which I was happy with the clouds where they were before, but I realized all the clouds were kind of in the same spot, like vertically, like in columns, and that was bugging me, so I wanted to fix that. And so again, that's the nice thing about acrylic paint, is I was able to fix that and move some like over. But yeah, I just noticed things like that while I'm like painting and when I look back at the painting. And I mean, some could argue that's the nice thing about like other materials where you can't alter them, is that you kind of are stuck with your decisions. But I personally like to like just try to make a piece as best as I can, which is why one of the reasons I like acrylic, but I like all mediums. But yeah, so I got to this point in the painting and I was really happy with it, and I was like, I like how it looks on its own. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to add cats, and I was actually debating this like over a day. Then I was like getting annoyed because I was like, well, Cecilia, you want this to be part of the series. If it doesn't have cats in it, then it can't be part of the series. But I also didn't want to feel like I just need to add cats just for the series. But then ultimately I decided to add cats because, like I said, I did want to add more like storytelling to my work. And I thought the cats added like more fun to the piece and added more storytelling. So as you can see, it jumps to like some real-time footage of me painting, which the reason I chose to do this footage real time is because that exposure thing that I was talking about was especially bad when I was painting the cats and all zoomed up. So I chose to just put some real time footage in here. It kind of skips around. And also, as you can see, 3 of the cats are already painted. So, or actually, they're not finished at this point, but it just jumps around a lot. Like, it'll probably go to them being finished here in a second. So apologies for that. But yeah, so ultimately I ended up deciding to add the cats, and I'm really happy I did. As you can see, they are itty bitty, tiny, so I spent a lot of time trying to really like get them to look like cats, even though they were so small. And originally I was just going to do those 3 cats, but then I ended up adding 2 more cats, because those cats were all in a line, which like bothered me. Like, as you can see, they're all like in the same spot. Like, again, I had the same issue I did with the clouds. I don't know why. I did pre-plan this, so I guess I just didn't notice till later, which it's not that big of a deal, but like my brain just kind of notices that and it bothers me. So then I was like, oh, I don't want to paint more cats, but I decided to add 2 more cats to kind of make it look less like all those cats were in a line, like there were a few more cats. And I think this painting would have been fine with 3 cats, but because it had that like weird balance issue that I was talking about, I think that the fact that I added 5 cats wasn't a bad decision. But yeah, here you can see the other cats I added, the one little like peeking out of the trees, and then the other one like hanging out of the tree. I kind of had a hard time, like especially the one hanging, like I feel like its tail and then its 2 feet could get confused, like its tail's the one in the middle, like hanging down. But since they're so small, it's hard to really distinguish like what from what. But I think for as small as these cats are, like I think I was still able to capture what I wanted for the most part. The one climbing up in the tree in the bottom maybe looks a little awkward, but again, I tried to get like good reference for these cats. It was so funny. I was literally looking up videos of like cats playing in cat trees to try to like find the exact like poses I wanted and stuff. But yeah, I was like posting this to my Instagram story throughout the process of making it, and like a few people commented on the story like, how the heck are you doing those cats so small, so detailed? So I posted this image, like how small these cats were, because I was just kind of having fun with how tiny they were. And then people were asking me, so then I posted this image showing the brush I use, which is literally called the Psycho. And I think it's even lost like some brushes since some hairs since I bought it, so it's even smaller. I bought new brushes actually, because that one was just getting too crazy, but like just it was literally like it's like 3 hairs or something now. But yeah, that's how, very small brushes. But yeah, here's the finished piece. Sorry, this video is like me just rambling. But yeah, I'm really happy with it overall. I'm excited to continue the series. I tried to get some close-ups of the kitties, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you're painting, what you like to paint or just draw. And yeah, make sure to subscribe to me if you want to see more videos. I'm trying to post more regularly. So yeah, I appreciate you so much for watching, and yeah, thank you. It's that time of the video where I like to thank the wonderful individuals who support me over on Patreon. If you want to support me as an artist and get some awesome rewards in return, like stickers, prints, occasionally zines, and other fun things like that, check out the link in the description.